In Chapter 2, we find the main characters of MAUS still in Sosnowiec, the small town where Władek and Anya begin their life together, and where the Zilberbergs, Anya's family, are from. Sosnowiec is in the southern part of Poland, and you can see it's just a little bit south of Częstochowa, this little city right here, where Władek was living and working. It was here in Sosnowiec that Anya and Władek begin their life together, and Anya also gets depressed after the birth of their first son, Riku. This is where the Zilberbergs had a nice home, where they were able to entertain guests, and had built a life for themselves here. So after Anna's depression, she's sent to a sanitarium in Czechoslovakia. Here you see the Czech countryside. Czechoslovakia is now known as the Czech Republic. And actually, if you remember, this was one of the first countries that Hitler took. In fact, this country was basically given to Hitler by other European countries in order to avoid a war. Now, I couldn't find the actual sanitarium when I was in Europe, but I thought you could get a glimpse of the countryside and just see how beautiful Czechoslovakia is. It's mountainous, forested, and this sanitarium was supposedly one of the most beautiful and expensive in the entire world. That's what Władek says anyway. And on their way to the sanitarium, they saw a small town with Nazi flags. And you can see as you ride on the train, you do see small towns, you see houses here and there, but they saw a town with Nazi flags, and they were talking about the rumors about what was going on in Germany. In Poland, life was still pretty normal, but they knew that this anti-Jewish Nazi party was gaining power and gaining momentum as well. So, back to life in the city, or small town rather, Sosnowiec and Częstochowa. This is actually footage of Krakow, which is a larger city south of those towns. And I took this footage because the Jewish quarter of Krakow has been preserved. Hitler actually did not destroy the Jewish quarter in Krakow because he wanted to keep a museum of a sorts to a lost race, a race that no longer existed. He planned to wipe them out, and so he kept some of the Jewish monuments and things in Krakow. This is just to give you a sense of what life might have been like, what it would be like to walk down those streets for Władek and Anya. Less cars, obviously, at his time, but you can get a sense for what it looked like back then. I'm standing here on one of the streets of Krakow where the Jews were actually deported. They wouldn't have been able to live here during this time, during World War II. And just around the corner from here is a Jewish synagogue, so they were actually forced to leave their neighborhoods and go to a ghetto, which is about a 40-minute walk from where I'm standing right now. Behind me is the oldest synagogue in Poland, right south of the center of Krakow. What's interesting is that Jews would not have been able to visit or attend this synagogue during the time of World War II when they were forced into the Jewish ghetto. Now it's mostly a tourist site. You can see tour groups around me, and it doesn't function as a synagogue anymore. Now it's just a museum. In Chapter 2, Władek mentions that there were anti-Jewish riots. And Hitler had tried, the Nazis had tried to pit the Polish people against the Jewish people that lived there. And it worked. And so Władek thinks that Bielsko would be this little town called Bielsko would be more dangerous than Sosnowiec. And you'll see Bielsko here is further south, closer to the Czech Republic, closer to the border with Germany and the lands that Hitler wanted. Of course, if they had known what he planned, they might have tried harder to stop him then.